All right. Hello and welcome everybody to race number 2 of the EFRL Buck Wild Racing 87 Classic Series. Tonight we are heading to the grueling Atlanta Motor Speedway circa 2008 for 100 laps in the 87 Classic NASCAR stock cars, excuse me. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you will see a different side of league racing tonight as I will actually be taking to the track with your 87 NASCAR drivers. Instead of sitting up here in my comfy chair in the broadcast booth, I'm going to get down onto pit lane, strap it to one of these cars, and take it around the track for hopefully 100 laps. I do hope to finish tonight on the lead lap, but if I don't, I'll have to go pout about it for the next week or so. Give me 1 second to get everything fired up on the car. We're gonna go take a couple laps out for practice. Too fast exiting there. Go nice and slow out of the pit lane. These tires like to fall off very quickly. 75 and Mick Olafson taking a spin there. Hopefully he doesn't come back up on track. Excuse me. A little under the weather tonight. Last week, Dustin Buck setting a new league record for largest margin of victory, excuse me, I cannot find the words tonight. 12.5 miles over Mick Olafson, 5 whole laps around the infamous Daytona International Super Speedway. But tonight we head to the 1.5 mile of Atlanta, not the new one that the NASCAR Cup Series races on today, the old traditional intermediate with the worn out surface and really bumpy turns. We're going to take just a lap or two to feel the car out. I have not been in this car in several months. Then we're going to go and see what first and second place are doing better, and we're going to try to copy them. Well, not a terrible lap. That would put us third quick. Out of 5, Dustin Buck with a 32.382 at the top compared to our 32.753. Let's go ahead and find Dustin Buck's fastest lap. Let's see, lap 2. I do not get to see lap 2, unfortunately. I joined just a little late. So why don't we go ahead and strap in the car once more, do a few more laps out on track, maybe try to practice a pit stop or two. Green flag pit stops will be very important tonight. We had last week at Daytona, almost everyone had trouble on pit road. So tonight, the driver's gonna have to make sure they execute perfectly. Love hitting the wall tonight. I have not raced this track in this car in a very long time. I believe it was around March or April the last time I was in this car. Turn 3 now.
fastest lap for you.
A new fastest lap. It'll be a 32.589, only a few hundredths off of Lee Kraus. Reset to the pits and go out for another fake qualifying run to see where we will end up again. Try to conserve our tire for the actual qualifying run on a good road. Gas now. Rocketing out of turn 4, coming to the front stretch. Let's see if we can make this any better than our last 2 attempts. Try to ride the wall in turns 1 and 2 and then dive down for turns 3 and 4. You can see from my onboard just how much these bumps mess up the handling of the car. We'll get a little loose there, overcorrect, and into the wall I go.
You've got wheel damage.
A very hard hit into the wall
Looks like your car is towed. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold the reset button and we'll come and get you.
Very hard hit, the car pirouetting onto the Geico restart zone. That front end is destroyed. Let's go ahead and watch that one more time. Yeah, just driver error there. Yeah, this is why I do sim racing and I am not actually in the NASCAR Cup Series. I am not the greatest of drivers. We'll go ahead and try that one more time. Or better yet, why don't we try to practice our pit stops, as that will be very important tonight. Go ahead, go all the way around just to warm our tires a little bit and get some speed. Try to really simulate a pit stop. Took the wrong line in turns 1 and 2. That was a mistake on my end. It won't matter too much though, as we'll be heading to pit this time. And too fast into the pit lane I go. I don't believe it was fast enough for iRacing to call a penalty.
10.
So maybe it was just right. I take that back.
3, 2, 1. Right here.
Excuse me.
Okay, punch it.
Alright, a 20.8 second pit stop. These are not the athletes that are on the pit crew of a NASCAR team today. These teams are from 40 years ago. They are not as efficient as the guys you see on TV. Pit stops will be extra costly tonight. That is why they matter so much. Your pit stops and your tire wear will determine where you finish in tonight's race. see the tire marks from where I destroyed the wall a few short minutes ago. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 seconds left in qualifying. We're going to take this set of turns, and we're going to reset to the pits. Checkered flag in the air. Dustin Buck, fastest car in practice at 32.382. In second is the 99 of Lee Krause at 32.523. Third is yours truly, the 64 of Hunter Wellman, and a 32.589. I did not see the rest of the lap times. However, also in tonight's race is the 75 of Mick Olofsson and the 93 of Brent Just. We'll go ahead and take our qualifying lap now. We are given 2 laps for qualifying, but with how heavy the tire wear is, it is best to just use your first lap, unless you make a serious mistake. We'll hammer the gas now. Try to get a good run in turns 3 and 4 to set ourselves up for the front straight.
Green flag, green flag. Okay, here comes your first time lap.
This will be my first and only qualifying lap. Not great on the gas there. I'll stay up towards the wall. Flying down the backstretch now, 183 miles an hour going into turn 3. Up high to the white flag in the air. We'll see what this lap time is. A 32.287, my fastest lap all night. Dustin Buck, though, will go ahead and beat me by a few hundredths of a second, a 32.237. Lee Krause will take third so far in a 32.409. Dustin Buck driving a Ford, me in a Buick, and Lee Krause in a Chevy. Top 3 all racing 3 different manufacturers. There are 4 you're allowed to race. We'll go ahead and take a trip down pit lane.
Pit boxing, 10. 5. Checkered flag, 3, 1.
Checkered flag is
right here
for me. We'll hop out of our car and see how the other 2 contenders do tonight. Mick Olofsson on his first lap. Heading into turn 3 now. Excuse me, we are on replay. Mick Olofsson coming out of turn 2. He'll take 4th quick with a 32.804. Looks like he'll go ahead and use his second lap. 155 miles an hour coming out of the corner. 172 at the line. His second lap will be at 33.098. 2/10 of fall off in just 2 laps of qualifying. Brent Just has not taken to the track yet. Brent Just still not setting down a qualify lap. Again, your qualifying order is Dustin Buck in the 68 at the top spot. Hunter Wellman, yours truly in second. Lee Krause in third, and Mick Olofsson in fourth. Brent Just has yet to set a qualifying lap. Let's go back and watch my qualifying lap just to analyze it a little bit. Heading into turn 1 at 183 miles an hour. staying right up against that wall, trying to carry as much speed to the backstretch as possible. Heading into turn 3, this time we're going to want to drop down for an apex at turn 4. Not quite to the white line, but close to it. We'll get right back up to the wall. And then through the tri-oval we go. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like Brent Just will not set a qualifying lap. Dustin Buck on pole, Hunter Wellman to his outside, Lee Krause in the 99 in third, Mick Olofsson in fourth, and Brent Just will take row 3. Ladies and gentlemen, qualifying is over, and it is time for the feature.
1 to go, next time by. Line up on the outside. Closed, pit road is closed.
I'll strap on my seatbelt. Wait for the other cars to get in or on the grid.
Still waiting on 2 cars to grid. Waiting on the final cars to grid.
Grid up. Looks like we're waiting on Lee Krause in the 99. While qualifying is an important part of the race, it will not be as important as tire wear tonight. I have raced on this track a few times, and the tire wear is brutal with these cars. You really need to save your tire, especially in the opening stages.
Everyone's gridded. You have
if you
3
want to maintain your position or make positions.
And have a good run.
Ladies and gentlemen, we get 3 sets of tires for tonight's race and 100% fuel tank. We'll go ahead and see just how much that is. Looks like about 38 laps. Let's see if I'm allowed to add any more to that. I am not. Looks like we'll be making a couple trips down pit lane then. Go ahead and try not to burn our tires up on the opening lap. Making some light contact with the 75 machine, trying to help me save some fuel by pushing me up against the pace car. Thank you very much, Mick Olofsson, and a happy birthday to you. Hopefully he will be able to finish tonight's race just like he did at Daytona, where there were only 2 cars left to finish. Alright, we are in
about to go green, stay focused.
The pace car is about to pull off 100 laps at the grueling Atlanta Motor Speedway.
The pace car is in, the pace car is off, be ready. Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is in the air.
The next car's the leader.
Side by side with Daytona winner Dustin Buck.
The car inside. Still
Take
there
the
at
high
the
line
bottom.
in the corner, and it looks like it's going to hurt us a ton.
Still there, inside.
Now side by side with the 99, but we have the tow from
Still
the
there at the
68.
bottom.
We'll go ahead and get on the brakes.
Stay high, there's a car on the low
Try not
side.
to burn our tire. Still side by
Still there,
side
hold
with
your
the
line.
99 machine. This is not ideal for tire wear. Go back
Clear.
off into the corner, allowing us to make some ground.
The car inside. Clear.
We are right up to the bumper of the 68. We'll let off just a little bit. Try to conserve our tire. It is a very long race tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
You're back in second.
Get the tow from the 68. We'll pop out a line, try to make it
Outside.
side by side into turn 3.
Stay low.
We'll use the low line. We're ahead by a nose. We are not clear.
Still there, hold your line.
And a dead heat at the line. Dustin Buck will have the edge, but now we have forfeited
Still there.
the primary racing line. We'll have to use the low line around turns 1 and 2. That is not what you want, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep low. Clear up
Dustin
top,
Buck will take the lead. We'll try to follow the line, but it will not work. Trying to make it single file in turns 3 and 4. Got a decent amount of space between me and the 99 for now, but he has a run.
Car inside.
He's going to take the
Still
low
there, hold
line.
your line.
He's going to try to use the high line to get around him.
Stay high, there's a car on the low side.
3-4
Clear
car battle
inside.
for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go ahead and get to the bumper with 68 once again. Try to use that toe. Past me for second. He's up to the bumper of the 68. I took the wrong line there, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure what I am doing tonight. '99 will fall in line. Looks high. He is alongside. He will not have it at the line, but he does have the space.
You're pulling away from the car behind. The gap is 1 second. Car outside. Clear. The leader is running. 33.452.
Turns 1 and 2. I'll lose some time. The 99 will go to the low side. The 68 up top. 99 will pass the 68, but does the 68 have something up his sleeve? New race leader, the 99 of the Kraus. Dustin Buck in second, Hunter Roman in third, Nick Olofsson in fourth, and the 93 Brent Just in fifth.
Clear outside.
Tried to make a move on the 68, but it did not quite work the way I wanted it to. He'll keep his second place position for now.
You're pulling away from the car behind. The gap is 2 seconds.
About 2 seconds ahead of fourth place, Nick Olofsson. 2/10 behind second and only 4/10 behind first. It is a close battle for the top 3, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to keep in the toe of the 68. Try to get some more fuel mileage out of my car. 68, I entered just a bit deeper into the corner. That mistake will cost me a 10th or so. Again, another missed entry by me. I will lose another 10th to the leaders. I'll have to make it up in this next set of turns if I wish to keep in the fight. Back to around where I want to be, only a couple of tenths behind Dustin Buck in second place. Trying to keep this car on the limit while trying to save tires. It is a difficult balancing act. Excuse me, it is hard to talk line racing. It is hard to balance both tire wear and car performance. Trying to keep up with the leaders while trying to save a tire to be able to pass them at the end. lap in the books. We are on lap
Leader is
13
running
of
34.079.
just over a tenth of the way into this race. I will very much screw up that corner. I will lose a ton of time to the leaders. Hunter Wellman into the wall because he does not know how to drive very well. That is time that I am not sure how to get back at the moment. Almost a second back from first and second place. Another hit into the wall for Wellman. Looks like the 68 might have a run. He'll look to the inside, but decide against it. To the corner for Wellman. He'll have to feather the throttle and lose more time to the leaders. Dustin Buck looks to the inside, but again decides against it. He does not want to pass the 99 just yet. Still right on the bumper of the 99. No pass being made as of yet. We'll look to the inside. He'll stay alongside on the front stretch. I can't quite see the gap. Dustin Buck will fall back in line. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I do not have a brake bias adjustment. Brake bias in these cars is very important for the long runs. It'll help you save more tire. But I forgot to select that control before entering tonight's race. Yet another disadvantage for me. Almost 18 laps into this event. Dustin Buck to the way low line, trying to make a move on the 99. He'll stay alongside in turn one, and he will get ahead. Lee Krause has something to say about it, though. He'll try to make a crossover. The leaders will touch. Lee Krause will get behind the 68. Dustin Buck has reclaimed the lead. Will he keep it to the finish line? Stay just ahead of the 99. Dustin Buck, your race leader. The 99 will look to the inside. He will not be able to make a move there. He'll go through the middle of turns 1 and 2 down to the way low line. Dustin Buck, though, will have momentum coming up onto the front straight. They stay side by side. Not for long. Lee Krause falls back in line. I'll get stuck on the high side of the track. My car, excuse me, not my car, my tires are getting thin. About 20 laps of fuel left before I have to make my first pit stop of the night. Lee Krause side by side. He might have a slight edge going into turn 3. They'll stay side by side. Lee Krause on the bottom. Dustin Buck up top. Lee Krause ahead just by a little bit. Will Dustin Buck have the momentum to continue leading? Hunter Wellman in the wall. Lee Krause will fall in line. Dustin Buck retains the lead, but how much longer will he have it? Getting the toe from the 68. Too far to make a move as of right now. He'll take a little lower line than the 68. Turns 3 Kraus will dive to the inside in turns 1 and 2, get alongside with the 68. He won't have the speed to do it, though. The 68 will retain the lead. Dustin Buck, your leader, still in turns 3 and 4. Grazing the wall once again. Your two leaders, 23 laps into this event, and they are still in a dogfight for the lead position. Hunter Wellman second and a half back in third, Mick Olafson in fourth, and Brent just in fifth. Still looking for any opportunity to get around the 68. He'll get underneath him in turn 1, but will he be able to carry it out of turn 2? He will not be able to. If you are paying attention to my hands, notice on the straights just how bumpy this track is. This was well before the repave that turned Atlanta into a mini super speedway. I am fighting to keep the car stable even on the front stretch.
The leader is running 34.378.
When it gets worse in the turn, especially on the low side, those bumps are violent. The car is starting to not behave the way I want it. Falling to 2.5 seconds behind the leaders. Lee Kraus once again tries to make a move on the inside line. They're now starting to get too far for me to call from my windshield. They are now tiny dots. I don't have as good of an angle from which I would hit the broadcast with Lee Kraus on the high side. Dustin Buck taking the lower line, but still retains his lead. Another hit into the wall for me. I'm trying to keep it out of the wall, but my tires have fallen hard. Isn't much more abuse they can take. I'll have to play it safe. Trying to get to the first green flag pit stop, provided the caution does not fly. Lee Kraus diving into the inside of the 68. Dustin Buck in turns 1 and 2 once again. Repeated move for Lee Kraus. This time he'll stay alongside going down the back straight, maybe even be a little ahead. They'll clash in turn 3. Lee Kraus falling behind the 68 once again. Another tap into the wall for me. Side by side, Dustin Buck, Lee Kraus. Dustin Buck retains his lead for 99. Again, falling short, having to settle for second. On to lap 30, almost a third of the way through this feature. Lee Kraus right up to the bumper of Dustin Buck, separated by 1/10 of a second. These two drivers have been in a dogfight all night long, ladies and gentlemen. They have been at the top of the board in just about every practice, qualifying, and race session we have put on tonight. Dustin Buck at the top of the board for practice and qualifying. Lee Krause second in practice, third in qualifying.
34.501.
And now they find themselves at the top of the standings, 31 laps into the main event. Hunter Wellman in third. Brent just now getting past the 75 of Mick Olofsson for fourth. Mick Olofsson in fifth. Fourth corner for me. I will lose a few tenths to the leaders, now 3 seconds ahead of me. Dustin Buck still in the lead. Lee Krause in second. Another hit into the wall. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I am a better driver than this. If you tune into our Tuesday night shows, I took the top step of the podium in the Legends Series after contact with a few drivers and a couple of heavy hitters getting sent to the back for cautions. I climbed my way through from starting 13th and leading the last 5 laps of the feature. Michael J. Steele would end up taking the victory on the dirt street stock side. Yours truly would end up with a 6th place finish. Our Monday Night Xfinity Series ended up taking the night off. We were able to get a few new drivers into the Tuesday Night Series, hoping to keep their reflexes sharp. Side by side, Lee Krause on the inside, Dustin Buck on the outside. They'll stay side by side into turn 3. I'll keep it off the wall this time. Still side by side, ladies and gentlemen. Lee Krause on the bottom, Dustin Buck up top.
You got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Just got the word from my spotter, 5 laps of fuel. I'm gonna need to conserve here. I'm gonna try to run my fuel tank empty before going to the pits. Now 3.5 seconds behind your leaders. Lee Krause will fall in line to the 68. He will not complete the pass. In just a few laps, we will begin our green flag pit cycle. I'm not sure what the order will look like. I know my pit stop is coming up soon. Another tap into the wall. I just cannot get away from it tonight. Thankfully, I still have a 0x on the night for now. And it looks like Lee Krause will be the first to pit.
4.515. The car behind is
Lee
pitting.
Krause
You're
has
back
to
in
go
second.
down for fuel and tires. Dustin Buck, Hunter Wellman have yet to pit. Mick Olofsson looks to have pit as well. They will both be a lap down.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
2 laps of fuel for the 64. I will be pitting next time by. My goal was to run it dry, but it is too close to call for me to take an extra lap. As you can see now, Lee Krause in 5th. I may be wrong. I believe Mick Olofsson actually hasn't pit yet. But I definitely will be. I am too low on fuel to make another lap. I'll go ahead, try to not push too much into the pits. I'll keep the car stable.
Pit box in 10, 5.
Let's go ahead and speed up a
3,
little bit.
2, 1.
Trying to make sure I don't
Right
speed
here.
on pit road. I do tend to have a lot
All
of
the
pit
damage is
penalties.
repairable.
Slight damage from hitting the wall. I do not intend to repair it. Aerodynamics do not matter as much in these classic NASCAR stock cars. Dustin Buck yet to pit. I will now fall to fourth. Brent just taking to the pits.
Okay, punch it.
21.2 seconds in the pits. We'll go ahead and hammer down.
The lead is pitting now.
On the backstretch we go. Dustin Buck is taking to the pits. After the pit cycle, I am fourth, although I do not believe Mick Olofsson is pit yet. Now with the new tires, this car is handling me like a dream. Dustin Buck still in the pits. My average lap time with worn tires was a 34.7. And I will set my fastest lap of the race at 32.5. Excuse me, a 32.582. Fastest lap overall of the race. Mick Olofsson, your race leader, race leader no longer with a 32.550. Mick Olofsson will take to the pits. I believe that is now everybody.
Car 99 is now leading.
I am now a short 2.2 seconds from Dustin Buck. Lee Krause, I am not sure what pit strategy he is on, but he is 12 seconds ahead of the field. Now in the lead, Dustin Buck in second, Hunter Wellman in third, Mick Olofsson in fourth, Brent just in fifth.
The leader just did a 33.682. You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is 2.7 seconds.
Lost some time with Dustin Buck in that corner.
He's back in third. Keep hustling. The car in C2 just set the fastest lap. 32.5
for me. I'll get loose. I'll be able to save it, but I will lose a ton of time to the leaders. Definitely not good. I just cost myself a ton of speed with tires and aerodynamics. I know I just said aerodynamics does not matter much, but when you have a ton of body damage, it certainly doesn't help. Now 5 seconds to Dustin Buck. It is very hard to see what is going on. I will have to use my track map. Unfortunately, I do not believe you guys can see it, so I'll have to keep you updated when I can. Right now, Lee Krause 10.8 seconds ahead of Dustin Buck. Hunter Wellman in third, Mick Olofsson fourth, Brent just 2 laps down in fifth.
The gap is 5.9 seconds.
Maybe a pit penalty for Brent Just. I do not have a replay on standby. Now that I know for a fact I do not have the track position to chase down the leaders, I'm going into tire saving mode, trying to save as much as possible in the hopes of a caution. turn one has always been a struggle for me in these cars. I'm not sure why, but I'm not very good at riding the top on asphalt. On dirt, I don't do too bad, but when I have all the grip in the world, I just seem to malfunction. Tapping the wall for me. That can't be good for my right side. Now that the field is spread out a little bit, let's take some time to thank our sponsors, Buck Wild Racing and Astro Towing. Buck Wild Racing sponsoring the league and Astro Towing sponsoring your victory lane.
The leader just did a 34.037.
One of these drivers will be in the Astro Towing victory lane tonight. I'm just not sure which one. I doubt it will be me. We will go ahead and see. We have 52 laps to go. We are halfway through this feature. Dustin Buck now 8 seconds behind race leader Lee Krause. I'm not sure what strategy Lee may have taken, maybe a 2-tire fuel-only stop. But Dustin Buck is closing in quickly. I wouldn't mind a caution right now.
Halfway in the race.
Wouldn't come at my expense. Officially halfway through the feature, ladies and gentlemen. 50 down, 50 to go. 150 miles up at Atlanta. 100 laps around this 1.5 mile. A caution now would bunch up the field and would keep Brent just 2 laps down, and it may or may not keep Nick Olofsson a lap down. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see how the lucky dog plays out tonight. But it certainly would help me, as I am still 15 seconds off of Lee Krause. Like graze up the wall that time. I believe I figured out my issue. I may be staying on the gas just a little too long in the corner. So much for tire saving. I need to listen to myself just a little bit more. 7.2 seconds between the leaders. Dustin Buck is closing in quickly. Starting to get to the point where the tire life is degrading. The car is getting harder and harder to control. You can see, especially when we get onto the backstretch, just how hard it is to keep the wheel straight. As I come out of turn 2, watch my hands closely. My hands in real life are right where they are in the simulator, and they are shaking back and forth, trying to mitigate the bumps.
34.298.
I believe I am a couple hundredths quicker that time. I believe I am a couple hundredths of a second quicker than the leader that time by. Or just over a tenth quicker than the leader. But I have a massive gap, almost half a lap around the track to his back bumper. It will be very hard for me to climb forward unless a caution does come out. Decent corner there for me. I'll keep it wrapped around the wall a little too. Won't be able to keep it low in 3 and 4. Mistake on my end, it won't cost me later. Right up against the wall that time, trying to push the limits. Trying to figure out what this car will do in the event of a restart. I know exactly what line to use and when. I'm averaging around a tenth quicker than the leader every lap. Dustin Buck is now shortening the gap between him and the 99 of Lee Krause to 6.3 seconds, shaving off another tenth since our last. Shaving off another second since our last update. Brent just following closely behind Lee Krause and Nick Olson following closely behind the 68. I am in a world of my own right now. I have probably the most boring seat in the house. I do apologize. Out of turn 4, I will hit lap 60. 41 laps to go in our feature event. Lee Krause, race leader, Dustin Buck in second, Hunter Wellman in third, Mick Olofsson in fourth, and Brent just 2 laps down in fifth.
The leader is running 34.414.
I was 0.02 of a second quicker than the leader that time by. I will hit the wall and get loose. I will be able to save it, thankfully. Got just a little distracted looking at the leaderboard, and it cost me dearly half a second slower than the leader that time. All the time I gained by being just a little faster has all gone away now with my mistake hitting the wall. I am now just over 10 seconds behind Dustin Buck. 16.5 seconds behind Lee Krause. I am 23.6 seconds ahead of Mick Olofsson. Brent just in fifth, 2 laps down. And 15 laps to go for fuel. 15 laps or so. We will start our second pit cycle of the night. More contact for the wall for me. Still have a 0x on the night. I haven't hit the wall too hard tonight, but I've hit it a ton of times and it has damaged my right side at least some. not having the greatest night driving-wise. Another scrape into the wall. I'm fighting a tight car in the corners.
The car behind is pitting.
The car behind is pitting. Mick Olofsson taking his second pit stop of the night. Not sure if his gas is drained or if he may have some damage. Or if his tires are just too worn to continue. Mick Olofsson will go one lap down for now. Tapping the wall that time, but it won't hurt. That was a good set of times there for me. Still 11 seconds behind second.
The leader is running 34.417.
Oh, a huge mistake for me on the throttle too early. Another big mistake with these worn tires. I will fall even further behind. Now 12 seconds behind second place. Mick Olofsson 2 laps down. Brent just a lap down from him. Excuse me. It looks like his tire advantage has gone away. 6.6 seconds behind Lee Krause. He has not been able to make too much ground. I am down to 9.5 laps of fuel. I do believe I'll have enough to make it after this pit cycle. Not entirely sure. Oh, a tap in the wall for me. I'm getting too close to the wall on the front stretch. Now on lap 70, 31 laps to go. If I can stretch my fuel just a little bit longer, I do believe I'll have enough to make it. Seven and a third laps of fuel left in the tank. If I had done everything right, I might have been able to get another lap or two out of it. But between my run-ins with the wall and in general, just amateur driving, I have not been in this car in a while. I will have to pit a couple laps earlier than where I wanted to. Just over 6 laps of fuel in the tank. Skating up into the wall. That is not good for my fuel or my tires.
The leader is running 34.396.
About 2/10 slower than the leader. The leader is actually faster than second place Dustin Buck now.
You got about 5 laps of fuel left.
His lead has expanded to over 7 seconds on Dustin Buck. Nick Wilson coming up quickly behind him. He pit a few laps ago. He'll pass me on the straight or in the preceding corner. I'll take the low line. Maybe he'll pass me up high. He'll keep it low. I'll have to let him by on the front stretch.
Inside. Still there, inside.
Just a little bit to prevent
Clear inside.
side into the corner. But it's not what you want to do with more tires. Now down to 3.5 laps of fuel. We'll go around just a few more times. Not quite doing the calculations in my head right now. I do believe if I hit one more time, I will have the fuel to make it. Question is, when does everybody else pit?
The lead is pitting now.
And just as I say, Lee Kraus will head to the pits.
The car in front is pitting.
And I believe Mick Olofsson also going down to the pits, unless my spotter is inaccurate. My car is inaccurate. My spotter is inaccurate. Lee Kraus has
Two laps
pit.
of fuel left.
He has surrendered the lead
is up the front.
to Dustin Buck. Try to save just a little bit more fuel. I will be heading next time by, not this time around. This time I'm able to stretch that extra lap that I was not able to get in the first pit cycle. But it will definitely be close.
Down about 1 lap of fuel left.
Exactly.
You're back in second.
I will be pitting this time by. I am up to second, but I have yet to pit. Lee Kraus 15 seconds behind me. Once again,
Don't forget to pit this lap for more fuel. The car in front is pitting. The lead is pitting now.
I believe Dustin Buck is also taking to the pits. So 2 of the top 3 entering the pits at the same time. Let's see, our spotter is adding 8 gallons. Looks like we will have the fuel to make it.
5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
And just as I enter Dustin Buck exits, Lee Kraus will still have the lead by a considerable amount. I am not sure what pit strategy he is on, but it is definitely working. Looks like Brent Just will take to the pits. Mick Olofsson is staying out. He is on an alternative strategy.
Okay, punch it.
A 20.7 second stop for the 64 machine.
Be mindful, you only have 1 set of tires remaining.
Only 1 set of tires remaining for your
The leader just did a 33.079.
I do believe everybody except for Mick Olofsson has taken to the pits. Excuse me, no, he has gone to the pits twice, I do believe. Mick Olofsson and the rest of the drivers now down to 1 set of tires, but we all have enough fuel to finish. I am now 24 seconds behind second place Dustin Buck. Dustin Buck 11 seconds behind your leader, Lee Kraus. I do believe I've actually been lapped tonight. My one goal to stay on the lead lap, I will not achieve it unless I can catch up to the 99 in front of me. This is not how I wanted my night to go. Started second, fell to third pretty quickly. Just have not been able to stay with
You just hit the fastest lap.
And right as I say that, I set the fastest lap of the night. A 32.453, a couple tenths off where we were in qualifying. But it is a few hundredths faster than what anybody else is set on the track for the feature. I believe I'm actually reeling in the 99. Maybe he has older tires on, but maybe he didn't put tires on at all. I'm not sure what his end goal is or what his strategy was, but it is playing out into his favor. Now with a 10-second lead over Dustin Buck, who is 23 seconds ahead of me. I am a lap down for now. Will try to unlap myself in this closing stretch. Lap 81, 20 laps to go, almost 19 laps to go. We are in the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. Your drivers now are fighting to keep their positions and stay alive on track. One mistake could ruin it all. Lee Krause in first, Dustin Buck in second, Hunter Woman in third, Nick Olofsson in fourth, and Brent Just in fifth, 2 laps down. The leader right in front of me. I'll keep it easy. I am a lap car. I do not have authority right now, but I am trying to unlap myself. So I'll look for a good opportunity. When the time is right, I will pounce to get around the 99 and hopefully unlap myself. Alright, the time is now. I'll go to the low side and get
outside
to the underneath of the 99.
Stay low. There is a car on the high side. Clear.
Low in turns 3 and 4. I have officially unlapped myself, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope I can stay unlapped and stay in front of the 99.
The leader just did a 33.788.
We'll go low and I'll go high. I'm going to use the momentum to try to pull the gap on him. Nick Olofsson now 4th place, just ahead of me. When I say just, I do mean 4.5 seconds and out of sight unless I find him on a straight. You can see a dot in my windshield. Lap 86, 15 laps to go, a short sprint to the finish for the drivers. Now catching 4th place, Mick Olofsson. It does not matter whether I lap him or not. It will matter if Lee Krause laps him low. That will put him on another lap down. Which I do believe he was already 1 lap down. This will put him 2 laps down. I believe gets into the wall there. He'll lose some time. The tires are starting to wear the track. The bumps in the track are starting to get worse and worse for my car. I am now only half a second behind Nick Olofsson. Once again, it does not matter whether I pass
the leader is coming up on you. They're not at light.
But I do need to be careful, as one slip-up will send us both into the pits and out of this race. I'll get the momentum. I'll go to the low side and try to make a clean pass.
Clear.
Once again, it is not for position.
coming up on you. They're not at five.
Wolves taking the low line that time. I use the high side out there to build a gap on him. Next car to me would be Brent Just. However, he is very far ahead. In fact, I believe he's closer to my rear bumper than I am to his rear bumper. So unless a caution comes out shortly, that will be all I have race-wise.
The leader is coming up on you. They're not at five. The leader is running 34.167.
I'm still running right around the same lap times as the leader. Once again, 9 seconds ahead of Dustin Buck. Not quite the 12.5 miles that Dustin Buck won by last week, but still a considerable margin. Especially when you take into account that 5 cars are in this race and no one was backed down. Compared to last week where we had 7 or 8 cars.
The leader is coming up on you. They're not at five.
We are on lap 91. I forgot to mention 10 to go. We are in the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. 10 more laps to solidify your position and take those championship points.
The leader is coming up on you. They're not at five.
That time I was around 2/10 quicker than Lee Krause, your race leader. I would mess up my throttle there. Although with such big gaps between me and the positions around me, it will not matter all too much. Now the goal is to just bring the car home in one piece. Again, we'd like to thank Buck Wild Racing and Astro Tone for sponsoring the Classic Series here at the Extreme Forces Racing League. I apologize for the stuttering. This has been a long race, one of the longest I have taken, I have been a part of in a league. Outside of this, I may have done a couple of endurance races and iRacing officials, but that is about it. Hitting the wall for me, I believe that's hit number 100. Averaging 1 per lap, not too shabby. Alright, I am on lap 96, 5 laps to go for me, and 4 to go for the
leader. Just did up 34.422.
Now lapping a few tenths quicker than me per lap. Oh, a hard bump will set me into the wall, but I'll be able to stay out of it mostly. The fatigue is starting.
You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
Down to 5 laps of fuel, but I do have enough to make it. Lee Krause is on lap number 98. 4.5 miles to solidify his victory tonight in dominating fashion. After the first pit cycle, it was lights out, with, I believe, the superior pit strategy over the field and a really good handling car throughout the entire race. Lee Kraus coming to 2 to go now.
2 left to go.
9.5 seconds over second place. Dustin Buck. Hunter Wellman will hit the wall. Speaking of Hunter Wellman, Lee Kraus is 1.6 seconds away from putting third place runner Hunter Wellman a lap down. In fact, I was a lap down for a decent amount of time there until I found my way around him. Top 3 on the lead lap, barely. Lee Kraus will take the white flag one more lap around the bumpy, the fast, the old and worn Atlanta Motor Speedway. It will be his first victory of the season. It will be Dustin Buck's second podium of the season. It will be my first in this class at least.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
2
One
laps
flag.
of fuel as I take the white flag, but Lee Kraus will see the checker. Lee Kraus will win it at Atlanta. Dustin Buck will finish second. Hunter Wellman, not crossing the line, will go on to finish third. Mick Olofsson in fourth and Brent just in fifth. Ladies and gentlemen, give me just a little bit more time to cross the checkered flag, to cross the finish line, see the checkered flag.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
All right, Hunter Wellman officially finishing in third. We'll go ahead and let off the
There's the flag. It's over.
Top 3 every night. Get their
Good
picture
job.
taken
Very
on
good
the
job.
front stretch, followed by interviews. Now, you've heard from me all night, so I'll keep my interview pretty short. But tonight, really put a beating on me. I have not raced this car track configuration in a very long time. I'll go ahead and eat a little bit of grass there. I'll park it alongside Dustin Buck, the man who taught me to drive these cars. Mick Olofsson getting in on the picture too. Lee Kraus taking a celebratory
Okay, the race is over. Bring it
we'll
on
go
in.
ahead and watch him from the windshield. He'll almost take me out. We'll go ahead and take our picture. All right, Lee Kraus telling us his left side tires at the end, 31 and 51. Let's go ahead and look at mine. 85 and 94. That is a little surprising. Oh, and he is putting in the chat 2 stops of 2 tires. He only took right side tires all night long. That strategy proved to be beneficial to him, winning by exactly 10 seconds looking at the leaderboard. Well, I'm sure you've heard my voice for just a little too long. We'll go ahead and wait for your drivers to enter the waiting room. We'll give them a second. In the meantime, we'd once again like to thank Buck Wild Racing and Astro Towing for sponsoring the Classic Series for the Extreme Forces Racing League. It has been an honor broadcasting this league and racing in it so far. EFRL also has 3 more classes of racing. Tuesday nights we have Legends Cars and Dirt Street Stocks. And Monday night we have the Xfinity Cars. However, starting soon for the new season, we will I believe we will continue to do the Xfinity Cars Monday nights, but Tuesday nights we will switch to our asphalt and dirt late models. I have signed up for both Tuesday night series and can't wait to see you there. Just a little bit more time. We'll go ahead and shoot a message to both Lee Krause and Dustin Buck to see if we will get them into the broadcast booth. All right, Dustin Buck has entered the waiting room. Let's go ahead and pull him in. Second place finisher, Dustin Buck in the number 68. How are you doing, buddy? Dustin, do I have a copy? Dustin, do I have a copy? Unless the issue is on my end. I do not believe we have a copy with Mr. Dustin Buck. We'll go ahead and take him out of the broadcast booth for a second. Why don't we bring in fourth place finisher, Mr. Mick the Stud Olafson? How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm just happy I finished.
Oh, me too.
I was watching your stream. You hit that wall a ton.
Yeah, I do have a tendency to do that whenever I'm in these asphalt cars. Darlington was very brutal for me in the ARCA series. But
I'm actually shocked you were able to finish as well as you did and not get right front tire damage.
I had damage. I just did not listen to my spotter much. But 100 laps at Atlanta. I don't think this is the longest distance race we've had, but it definitely took a lot out of the drivers tonight. How are you trying to mitigate both the tire wear and driver fatigue as the laps wound down?
Well, for me, the tire wear, I was driving it in pretty easy. I saw you guys battling pretty hard at the beginning, and I was like, I'm just going to back off. I want to save my tires. I learned from Daytona the week before. I burned my tires up pretty quick. So I was taking it easy in the corners, and I was staying pretty competitive. But then I tried to extend that first round. I went to like lap 44 before I pit, and I think that cost me in the long run.
Yeah, I definitely tried fighting up there just a little too much, and it hurt me in the end. I'll finish almost a lap down. But I believe you were scored a lap or two down as well to Lee Krause. He had an alternative strategy, shall we say. He had the same left side tires from lap 1 to lap 100 tonight.
Oh, I wouldn't have been brave enough to try that.
Me neither. I like having my fresh tires. All right, Mick, is there anyone you would like to thank tonight? Any sponsors, any friends or family? Anyone in the race shop?
Oh, sure. We got to thank all the boys back at Falcon Graphics Racing. Got to thank my buddy Dean Qualley, you up in the booth for doing such a great job. Dustin Buck for being the sponsor of this league and putting it on for us. I'm a big proponent of these cars. This is my favorite style of NASCARs. So I'm going to make a commitment to try to run as many of these races as I can just because I love these cars so much.
All right, well, thank you very much, and you have a wonderful evening.
You too.
All right, let's go ahead and see if Dustin Buck is here. Dustin, do we have a copy? Dustin, do we have a copy? I'm hearing from Lee Kraus. Dustin Buck is not here tonight. Why don't we go ahead and bring in the race winner, Lee Kraus, in the 99? How are you doing?
Doing good, Mr. Wellman. How you doing?
Not too bad. My arms and legs are tired, but I had a lot of fun.
Atlanta is a great track. I really do enjoy it. It's unfortunate we only had 5 cars, but it's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, a lot of our drivers tonight had some prior commitments they had to make, but of the cars that showed up, you came out on top.
Yeah, a little bit of pit strategy there helped me get a pretty decent lead. I only took 2 tires on both stops. Ended up with not much left in my lefts though, only 31.51 on the lefts, but the car is so stable with only right side tires that it really helps when you do that. It actually frees the car up, makes it even faster a little bit sometimes. So yeah, it's a good way of going.
Yeah, me and Mick were talking. We were not brave enough to try that strategy, but we were wondering how the pit cycle would shake things up. I believe you were the only car, one of the only cars to try something different, and it worked out really well for you tonight, especially up against Dustin Buck. It was a dogfight between you two in the early stages of the race.
Oh yeah, Buck and we've raced a lot against each other in the past, and I got a lot of respect for him, and I think he shares the same level for me. And we know that we're not going to wreck each other necessarily. We've had races where, he's wrecked somebody in front of me that wrecks me, but never really wrecked each other. So yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, a very long history between you two, a lot of races between you guys. But it was you that came out on top tonight. Is there anyone from the shop or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Definitely got to thank Full Moon Bowling Lanes. Head on down there; they wash your balls like nobody. As well as definitely got to thank my wife. She lets me play in these leagues. It's a lot of fun. I have a good time with it. So got to thank her, and yeah, got to thank you guys, or thank you, Hunter, for sure, for putting on the broadcast. And tonight you got to race as well as do the broadcasting thing. I'm just watching the donuts. I almost clipped your nose there. That's funny. But anyway, so yeah, no, thank you to everybody that puts on the league. Really got to thank Tom. I really hope he can make it out and start racing with us too. So, and definitely thank you to Buck Wild Racing for sponsoring the league. And yeah, no, it was great.
Thank you very much. And another thank you to Buckwild Racing League sponsor. Lee, you have an awesome evening, and I will see you next week.
Yep. See you at Rockingham. She'll be a fun one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, race winner Lee Kraus will head to Astro Towing Victory Lane. Once again, we'd like to thank Astro Towing and Buckwild Racing for sponsoring the Classic NASCAR series. I am Hunter Wellman, and I will see you all next week around 8:30 Eastern Time at Rockingham.